In the previous class, I started discussing about the combined translational and rotational motions of a rolling body. So in my previous class, I was discussing about the combined translational and rotational motions of a rolling body. So I would like to continue the same discussion in this class. So I will continue the discussion which I have been doing in the previous class. Then I will be showing you the notes, the summary of the entire discussion which I have done in my previous class and the discussion which I am going to do now with PowerPoint presentation. So you concentrate only to listen to my explanation at present. Don't write running notes when I am explaining you. So I was discussing about the body rolling on fixed surface without slipping. If you consider a regular body of uniform density with mass m and radius Kepler, so the position of center of mass coincide with the geometric center, which rotates about the axis, horizontal axis passing through its center of mass and parallel to surface on which it rolls and simultaneously moves forward. That means the rolling body performs both translational and rotational motions. So as I was discussing in the previous class, a body is said to be rolling on a fixed surface without slipping when the instantaneous velocity of the bottommost points of the rolling body which are in contact with the surface on which it rolls is zero. So figure shows the cross-sectional area of the rolling body, for example, uniform solid cylinder or sphere of radius Kepler in the vertical plane containing the position of center of mass. So A is the bottommost point in the cross section which is in contact with the surface at a particular instant. So the body is said to be rolling without slipping when the velocity of the bottommost point A of the rolling body which is in contact with the surface on which it rolls is zero with respect to surface on which it rolls. So velocity of the bottommost point A, actual velocity of the bottommost points of the rolling body in contact with the surface on which it rolls will be zero if the velocity of the point A with respect to center of mass is equal in magnitude but opposite in direction to the velocity of center of mass. So actual velocity of the bottommost point A with respect to laboratory frame with a vector sum of velocity of center of mass and the relative velocity of the point A with respect to center of mass. And in the case of rolling with no slipping on a fixed surface, the actual velocity, instantaneous velocity of the bottommost points of the rolling body in contact with the surface on which it rolls is zero. So in general, for rolling on a surface without slipping, the relative velocity of the points of the rolling body which are in contact with the surface on which it rolls is zero with relative to surface on which it rolls. So that is possible when the velocity of the center of mass at velocity of the bottommost point with respect to center of mass, as I told you, will have a magnitude r omega. In the figure I have shown, which is directed to the left side. Velocity center of mass if it is directed to the right side. So for rolling on a fixed surface with no slipping, the actual velocity of the bottommost point A in contact with the floor, the actual velocity of the points of the body, rolling body, which are in contact with the surface on which it rolls is zero. That happens when the Magnetic velocity center of mass is same as the Magnetic velocity of point A with respect to center of mass equal to R into omega. So you can write omega equal to VCm by R. Relative to the position of center of mass, all the particles of the rolling body perform pure rotational motion about the horizontal axis passing through the center of mass. The distance of any particle of the body, the perpendicular distance between the location of any particle of the body from the horizontal axis passing through the center of mass is constant. So any particle of the rolling body moves in a circle with its center on the horizontal axis passing through the center of mass. So kinetic energy, total kinetic energy of the system of all the particles of the rolling body about the center of mass of the system is simply equal to the rotational kinetic energy about the horizontal axis passing through its center of mass, which you can write half ICM into omega square. ICM is the moment of inertia of the rolling body about the horizontal axis passing through its center of mass, the axis of rotation being parallel to the surface on which the body rolls. Now omega can be written as VCm by R. So moment of inertia of a rigid body about a given axis can be written as I equal to mk square, where m is the total mass of the rigid body and k is the radius of gyration about that axis. So ICM can be written as mk square, where k is the radius of gyration of the rolling body about the horizontal axis passing through its center of mass. So you can write ICM equal to mk square. VCM omega can be written as VCm by R. So this you can write half mVCm square into k square by R square. From the kinetic energy theorem, which I have discussed in my previous class, the total kinetic energy of the body performing combined translational and rotational motions is equal to sum of the kinetic energy of the body about with respect to center of mass of the body plus half mVCm square. So kinetic energy of the rigid body. The rigid body can also be considered a system of particles of which it is composed of. So the kinetic energy of the rigid body about the center of mass of system or with respect to center of mass system is nothing but equal to the rotational kinetic energy, which can be as half ICM into omega square. So this half ICM into omega square can be written as half mVCm square into k square by R square only when the body rolls on the fixed surface with no slipping. In some of the numerical problems, the body may be simultaneously performing both combined translational motions. That means the body may be rotating with forward slipping, or the body may be sometimes rotating with backward slipping. In such cases, the kinetic energy of the body can be written in this way: half ICM omega square plus half mVCm square. But you cannot write half ICM omega square equal to half mVCm square into k square by R square. So this equation I have written here in the left side. That is rotational kinetic energy can be written as half mVCm square into k square by R square only when the body rolls on a fixed surface without slipping, with no forward or backward slipping. So in the case of rolling with no slipping, on a fixed horizontal surface, you can write total kinetic energy of the rolling body. You can write half ICM omega square. You can write half MVCM square into K square R square plus half MVCM square. That is the total kinetic energy of the rolling body. Can be written as sum of its translational and rotational kinetic energies. So kinetic energy of the body when it rolls on the fixed surface with no slipping can be written as half MVCM square into 1 plus K square by R square. Of course, VCM, as I discussed in my earlier class, represent the magnitude of the translational velocity or linear velocity of center of mass with respect to laboratory frame of reference. Capital M is the mass of the rolling body and K is the radius of gyration about the horizontal axis passing through its center of mass and parallel to the surface on which it rolls. Capital R is the radius of the rolling body. Sometimes you may be asked to find velocity of any other particle in the body with respect to laboratory frame. I mean actual velocity of a point. Suppose if you consider some arbitrary point P in the rolling body. So in general, the velocity of the point P with respect to center of mass can be written as vector difference of actual velocity of the point P and actual velocity of center of mass. So actual velocity of the point P means the velocity of the point P with respect to laboratory frame. Actual velocity of center of mass and velocity of center of mass with respect to laboratory frame. So velocity of the point P with respect to center of mass means there is a velocity of the point P during the rotational motion about the horizontal axis with respect to center of mass. If small r is the radial distance, means perpendicular distance of a point P from the horizontal axis passing through the center of mass, then magnitude velocity of the point P with respect to center of mass can be written as r into omega. Then omega is the angular speed of rotation about the horizontal axis. Now this result which I have written here can also be written in another way. So the total kinetic energy of the rolling body which performs both translational and rotational motions can be written as sum of its rotational kinetic energy about the horizontal axis passing through its center of mass plus translational kinetic energy of the body, which can be written as translational kinetic energy half MVCM square. So in case of rolling with no slipping, as I told you, VCM can be written as R omega. So you can write the same result in this way: half ICM into omega square plus half M into R omega whole square. So you can take half common outside. ICM plus MR square into omega square can also be taken common outside. Now, from the parallel axis theorem, the moment of inertia of rigid body about any axis will be equal to sum of its moment of inertia about the parallel axis passing through its center of mass plus product of the mass of the body and square of the perpendicular distance between the two axes. That means moment of inertia of the rolling body about the instantaneous horizontal axis passing through the point A, which is in contact with the surface on which it rolls. Can be done moment of inertia about the horizontal axis passing through its center of mass plus mr square. So this result you can write as half I omega square, or you can write I subscript A. So here I subscript A represent moment of inertia of the rolling body about the instantaneous axis passing through the points of contact of the body with respect to the surface on which it rolls. So I subscript A represent the moment of inertia of the rolling body about the instantaneous axis, instantaneous horizontal axis passing through the points of contact. That means I subscript A the moment of inertia of the body about the instantaneous horizontal axis passing through the point A in the body which is in contact with the surface. Now, as I discussed earlier, the kinetic energy of a rigid body performing pure rotational motion about an axis with angular speed omega is given by half I omega square. That means the combined translational and rotational motions of the body which rolls with no slipping can be considered as equivalent to pure rotational motion about the instantaneous horizontal axis passing through the points of contact. That means IA represents the moment of inertia of the rolling body about the instantaneous axis. Instantaneous axis means the imaginary straight line passing through the points of the body which are in contact with the floor on which it rolls. That is oriented. That means with respect to the floor or with respect to the instantaneous axis passing through the points of contact with the floor, you can assume that each particle is moving in a circular path about the instantaneous axis, passing through a point here. Therefore, magnitude of the velocity of the point B, the point B directly diametrical opposite to the bottommost point here, can be written as radial distance of the point B from the point A, which is equal to diameter of the rolling body into omega. As I discussed in the past, rigid body performs pure rotational motion about an axis. The magnitude velocity of any point which is situated radial distance means perpendicular distance r from the axis at a particular instant can be written as V equal R omega. So the combined translational rotational motions of the body which rolls on the fixed surface with no slipping can be considered as equivalent to pure rotational motion about the instantaneous axis passing through the points of contact. Therefore, using this formula, magnitude of the velocity of the point B, I mean actual velocity of the topmost point B on the surface of rolling body can be written as 2r into omega. That you can write r omega equal to VCM, 2 times magnitude of velocity center of mass. Same conclusion can also be arrived in another way. Actual velocity of the point B is equal to vector sum of velocity of the point B with respect to center of mass and velocity of center of mass. With respect to center of mass, the point B moves in a circular path of radius r. So velocity of the point with respect to center of mass is directed towards right side. Let us choose the direction of the velocity of center of mass, suppose as positive direction of x-axis. Velocity of the point with respect to center of mass, you can write r omega into I cap. I cap is unit vector along x-axis. Velocity of the center of mass can be written as VCM into I cap. That is VCM plus r omega into I cap. So in case of rolling with no slipping, you can write VCM equal to r omega. Those you can write 2r omega into I cap, or 2 VCM into I cap. So the combined translational and rotational motions of a body which rolls on a fixed surface with no slipping can be considered equivalent to pure rotational motion about the instantaneous axis passing through points of contact with the same angular speed omega, with which it rotates about the horizontal axis passing through center of mass. That means the angular speed of rotation about the instantaneous axis passing through points of contact is same as the angular speed of rotation about the horizontal axis passing through center of mass of the body. In a similar way, by using same principle, you can find the velocity of any other point. So every particle of the rolling body can be assumed to move in a circular path about the instantaneous axis passing through center of passing through the points of contact. So if you consider some other point P in the body, velocity of this point P, I mean actual velocity of point P with respect to lap frame, will be perpendicular to the distance of radial distance of that point P from the point A, from the horizontal axis passing through point A. And that can be done R into omega. A small r is the distance of point P from the instantaneous axis passing through point A. Here. Now I would like to summarize the entire discussion which I have done in my previous class, and also the discussion which I have done in today's class, I mean in this class. So I would like to give you the notes or summary of the complete discussion which I have done in my previous class and the present class. So those who are writing the notes, they can get ready with your notebook and pen. So wherever it is necessary, you can take a pause and write the notes. So advise the students to write the notes so that they become familiar with all the concepts and equations. So in the previous class, I have first discussed about the kinetic energy theorem. So I am going to again show you the kinetic energy theorem first. Only the statement of theorem I am going to show you on the screen. Proof already I have discussed in the previous class. So as I told you, the proof will not be important for this theorem for the preparation of entrance examinations, particular local entrance exam, entrance, different exams, entrance examinations. See here, the total kinetic energy of a system of particles with respect to origin O of inertial frame of reference is given by Ke equal to Ke Cm plus half mv Cm square, where Ke subscript Cm represents the total kinetic energy system of the particles with respect to center of mass of the system, and capital M is the total mass of the system. Come on, go through this theorem. And if you are writing the notes, you can take a pause and finish writing the statement of the theorem. So I am going to show you the continuation to this. V subscript Cm is the magnitude of linear velocity center of mass of the system with respect to the origin of the inertial frame of reference. Come on, finish copying up to here. Next, I am going to show you the summary of the discussion I have done for combined translated rotational motions of a rolling body. I am going to read out the notes shown on the screen here. Consider regular body of mass capital M of uniform density with circular cross section of radius capital R rolling on a fixed horizontal surface. The total kinetic energy of the rolling body will be equal to sum of the translation rotational kinetic energies. So those who are writing the notes, if they need more time, they can take a pause and write the notes. Next, I am going to show you the notes continuation to this. Next slide continuation to this. Let V subscript Cm denote the magnitude of the translational velocity of center of mass of the rolling body. Let capital I be the moment of inertia and omega be the angular speed of rotation about the horizontal axis passing through center of mass, and the axis is parallel to the surface on which it rolls. Because sometimes the body may roll down a fixed inclined plane, and sometimes the body may roll on a fixed horizontal surface. Same equations which I am going to show you on screen will be applicable in both the cases. In case of rolling motion, so I have shown the diagram here. In the left side diagram, I have shown the situation showing the pure rotational motion about the horizontal axis passing through the center of mass. That means, suppose if you consider the case where the body suppose performs pure rotational motion about the horizontal axis passing through the center of mass, then with respect to center of mass, I mean with respect to axis passing through the center of mass, with respect to horizontal axis passing through the center of mass, the bottommost point A will have velocity of magnitude r omega towards left side. The topmost point B has velocity of same magnitude r omega to the right side. Different particles of the body are rotating in the clockwise sense as seen from your side with angular speed omega about the horizontal axis passing through center of mass. Here velocity center of mass, I mean with respect to the axis passing through center of mass, is 0. That means I have shown the situation similar to the case of pure rotational motion about the horizontal axis passing through center of mass. In the second diagram on the right side, I have shown you the situation in case the same body performs pure translation motion. In case the body performs pure translatory motion, then all the particles of the body will have same translational velocity towards right. VCM bar is a linear velocity vector of center of mass. So velocity of point A will be also equal to VCM. Velocity of point B will also be equal to VCM in the same direction in case the body performs pure translatory motion. So the combined translational motion, combined translational rotational motion of the body when it rolls with no slipping on the fixed horizontal surface is shown on the third figure on the right side. That means pure rotation on the left side plus pure translation in the middle figure is equivalent to the combined translational and rotational motions. That means velocity of any point, I mean actual velocity of any point of the body which rolls with no slipping in the third figure is sum of the, I mean resultant of velocities in the previous two figures. In the first figure on the left side, velocity of the point A is r omega to the left side, velocity of the point in the second figure in the case of pure rotation, pure translation, velocity of the point A VCM to the right side. Now in the third figure, actual velocity of the point A will be VCM minus r omega, because VCM bar is directed to the right side. This represents the magnitude of velocity of the point A with respect to center of mass. This represents the magnitude of velocity of the point B with respect to center of mass. So resultant of this and this will be 0 in case of combined translational rotational motion of the rolling body. Then there is no slipping. So velocity center of mass in this figure and the first figure left side is 0. In the middle figure it is VCM bar. So the sum of these two velocities in third figure is shown as VCM bar. Velocity of the point B in the third figure is because some of the, I mean resultant of velocities in the previous two figures. Here velocity of B with respect to center of mass has magnitude r omega directed towards right side. Velocity of the point B, in the case of pure translator motion, it will be Vcm. Sum of these two velocity will be Vcm plus r omega. That can be written as 2 Vcm if case of pure rotation with no slipping. I'm sorry, pure rolling motion with no slipping. You can write this as equal to Vcm. So those who are writing the notes, please take a pause and finish writing the notes. I would like to show you the continuation for this. So I am showing you the conclusions which I have discussed in my previous class. For a body which rolls on, which performs both the translational and rotational motion on a fixed surface, if Vcm is more than r omega, then VA bar is actual velocity of the bottommost point in contact with the floor is in the direction of Vcm bar. Body is said to be rotating with forward slipping. If Vcm is magnitude of the translational velocity center of mass with respect to the floor or lap frame is so I am showing the same slide. Small correction I have made here. Now again look at the same sentence which I have shown in the previous slide. If Vcm is greater than r omega, then VA bar, that means velocity of the bottommost point A in the cross section of the body which is in contact with the floor is in the direction of Vcm bar. Body is said to be rotating with forward slipping. If Vcm is less than r omega, then VA bar is opposite direction of Vcm bar. And the body is said to be rotating with backward slipping. If Vcm equal to r omega, then VA equal to 0. In this case, the body is said to be rolling without slipping. So in this case, when velocity of the bottommost point E in the cross section of the body, which is in contact with the floor, becomes 0, actual velocity of the bottommost point E with respect to the floor becomes 0, and the body is said to be rolling with no slipping. Okay. And in that case, velocity at the upmost point B. As I shown in the diagram in the earlier slide, Vcm bar represents the velocity of the center of mass, linear velocity center of mass. A is the bottommost point A in the cross section of the body, which is in contact with the floor on which the body rolls. B is the topmost point in the cross section of the body. And VB represents the velocity of the actual velocity of point B. So VA represents the actual velocity of point B. That will be 0. And the body rolls without slipping on a fixed surface. So VB can be done Vcm plus r omega, or r omega has explained all this the previous discussions. So those who are writing the notes, please take a pause and finish writing the notes till here. So I would like to next show you the continuation to this. The next slide, continuation to this. So I am now showing the important conclusion on the screen, which I have explained before, which you need to remember. That is the condition for rolling with no slipping. So when the body rolls without slipping, then the instantaneous velocity of the bottommost point of the body in contact with the surface is 0 with respect to the surface on which it rolls. This is an important conclusion we have to keep in remember. So we can write as explained ICM, that is moment of inertia about the horizontal axis to the center of mass equal mk square, and omega equal to Vcm by r in case of pure rolling with no slipping, as explained before. So total kinetic energy of the rolling body can be done half mVcm square plus half ICM into omega square. This equation applies in the case of combined translation rotational motion of the body, even when the body has both rotational motion with forward or backward slipping. But we can write omega equal to VCM by R only when the case of pure rolling with no slipping. Pure rolling means rolling without slipping. So omega I can write VCM by R and ICM equal to MK square. So those who are writing the notes, please finish writing the notes till this slide. You can take a pause and finish writing the notes up to here. I would like to show you the continuation to this. So this you can write as half MVCM square plus half MVCM square into K square by R square. So kinetic of the body with no slipping is given by half MVCM square into 1 plus K square by R square. Where K is the radius of gyration about the axis passing through center of mass and parallel to surface on which it rolls. So come on, those who are writing the notes, they can take a pause and finish writing the notes up to here. So there is one more conclusion which I would like to discuss, which is applicable for a body which rolls on a fixed surface without slipping. So when the body rolls on a fixed surface without slipping, as I told you, magnitude of the linear loss of center of mass with respect to the lap frame can be done R into omega, where omega is the angular speed of rotation about the horizontal axis passing through the center of mass. So when the body undergoes an infinitesimally small, when center of mass of the body undergoes infinitesimally small linear displacement ds, suppose, then you can write ds equal to vcm into dt. ds represents the magnitude of linear displacement of center of mass of the rolling body during the infinitesimal. You can again stop writing, just concentrate to listen. VCM into dt. This you can write R omega VCM equal to, in case of rolling with no slipping, dt. So work done, translational work done by the friction force on the body. The type of friction that exists between the body and the surface on which it rolls, in the case of rolling with no slipping, is the static friction. Because the relative velocity of the bottommost points of the rolling body, which are in contact with the surface, is zero relative surface on which it rolls. So the type of friction which exists between two surfaces in contact, when the relative velocity between the points of contact is zero, the type of friction which exists between the surfaces of two bodies in contact, when the relative velocity between the points of contact is zero, is called static friction. So the static friction, the magnitude of static friction on the rolling body are denoted by F into F subscript S. So the work done by the, translational work done by the static friction force on the body can be written as minus Fs into ds, or minus Fs into R omega dt. This part of the discussion definitely not needed for the intermediate public exam or even for local MCET exam. This part of the discussion may be needed only for different entrance exams at the all India level. But the conclusion of the discussion is important for those students even for preparing for MCET or other local entrance exam. So the work, rotational work done. The rotational work done by friction. If you consider only pure rotation, as I told you, the combined translational rotational motion of a rolling body can be considered as a combination of both translational motion and rotational motion about the axis passing through the center of mass. So rotational work done by the frictional force is equal to torque due to the frictional force into d theta in the same time dt. D theta is the angular displacement of different particles of the body about the instant horizontal axis passing through the center of mass. So torque due to the frictional force about the axis passing through the center of mass can be written as Fs into R. So this d theta can be written as, we can write omega is equal to d theta by dt. So d theta you can write omega into dt. So add this and this. That means total work done by the frictional force. That is net work done by the frictional force on the rolling body. Because some of the translational work done plus rotational work done. That is minus Fs R omega dt plus Fs R omega dt. This comes out to be 0. So the conclusion of the discussion you have to remember is that when a body rolls on a fixed surface with no slipping, the sum of the translational rotational works done by the friction on the rolling body is 0, or net work done by friction on the rolling body is 0. So this conclusion I am going to next show on the screen here. So those are writing the notes, they can directly copy the conclusion instead of copying this working. It's not compulsory necessary to copy this part of working. This I am not going to show in the notes also, because this is only this working I have written to convince the students about the conclusion. Because some of the students, unless they are convinced about a conclusion, they may not prefer to remember or take the result for granted. So when the body rolls on a fixed surface with no slipping, the sum of the translational rotational work done by the friction force will be 0. So this conclusion I am going to show you on the screen, which you can copy in your notes in the next slide. So look at the conclusion here, which I just discussed now. When the body rolls on a fixed surface without slipping, then the net work done by the friction force on the rolling body is 0, because instantaneous velocity of point of contact is 0. Come on, copy down this conclusion. If you need, you take a pause and copy this conclusion. Then before I end up this class, I would like to solve one problem based on this rolling without slipping on a fixed surface. Uniform solid cylinder. Look at the problem here. 17 in rotational motion. Numbering was done from the beginning. Uniform solid cylinder and another uniform solid sphere of same mass are rolling along a horizontal floor without slipping with equal translational speeds of their center of mass. What is the ratio of their kinetic energies? So kinetic energy of rolling without slipping, I mean kinetic energy of the body of mass m which rolls on a fixed surface without slipping can be written as half mvcm square into 1 plus kc square by r square. So let us find the value of k square by r square for each of these. For uniform solid cylinder, so in the case of uniform solid cylinder, about the horizontal axis passing through its center of mass, moment of inertia can be written as mr square by 2. So in general, moment of inertia of rigid body about an axis can be written as I equal mk square, where k is the radius of gyration of the rigid body about the same axis and m is the total mass of the rigid body. So the value of k square by r square can be taken as equal to 1 by 2 for solid cylinder. Whereas for uniform solid sphere, the moment of inertia of uniform solid sphere about any axis passing through its center of mass can be written as 2 by 5 mr square. Just as we have done previously. Here also can write ICM equal mk square, where k is the radius of gyration about the horizontal axis passing through center of mass. So for uniform solid sphere, you can write k square by r square equal to 2 by 5. So both the bodies have same mass and same magnitude of velocity center of mass. So kinetic energy of the first body, that is solid cylinder, can be written as half mv square into 1 plus k square by r square is 1 by 2. That is half mv square into 3 by 2. V, the magnitude of the linear velocity center of mass of each rolling body, which is same for both the bodies. M is the mass of each body. So for Ke2 is the kinetic energy of the uniform solid sphere about the flow with respect to, Ke2 is total kinetic of the solid sphere with respect to the lap frame. That is equal to half mv square and 1 plus k square by r square and 2 by 5. That will be half mv square into 7 by 5. Come on, you can copy down the working. You can take a pause and copy the working and try to complete the calculation yourself. You can take a pause and divide Ke1 with Ke2. Come on, complete the simplification, complete the calculation yourself now itself. Next, I will be showing the answer on the screen. So if you simplify this, you are supposed to get the answer as 15:14. So the answer for the problem 17, which I just discussed, will be 15:14. So I will continue my discussion next class. I will be discussing rolling down fixed inclined plane in my next class.